Okay, so we're still in this bonus room area, I guess, looking back through that archway. And you can see my desk here, and then on the other side of my desk is a little cove that has a sink and some more cabinetry. So we'll walk over there and look at that. Across from my desk, I have this little corner where next to my doors that has a chair and a magazine holder that just holds some idea books and journals and things like that. And above that is a TV, so I can turn it on and watch my TV while I work. So this little cove over here had some plumbing in it, so we installed a little sink, and that works great for cleaning up paint projects or stamps and stuff like that. So in this area, I tend to put all of my messy supplies. Here's just an overview. I have a couple more of those World Market carts filled with things under here. Underneath here, I'll show you, well, maybe not. It's hard to see because it's so dark, but there's my crop tote is down there, and then my camera bag with my camera is under there. All right, we'll just go through everything. I've got a couple of cabinets, sets of cabinets, and then this countertop, and then these cupboards. So I think we'll start right here. On top, I have a spinning rack that holds all of my acrylic blocks and stamp cleaners and paint brushes and things like that. That's just a random holder. This is a washi tape holder, and then just some decorative things. All right, let's go down here. So this is my planner that last year I took a little break from scrapbooking, but I still wanted to be creative. So I created, I worked in this planner and just decorated it. I had so much fun. So let me find a page that I can show you that doesn't have like tons of personal info on it. My favorite thing to do was to cover the pages with pattern paper. There we go. That's a good one. Okay, so my favorite thing to do was cover the pages with pattern paper, and then I stamped out labels and colored them with colored pencils. And then I really got into buying some really cute planner stamps that just have emotions on them. So my favorite ones are these ones that look like little people, and you can stamp different faces on them. And so I would just color them like the people in my family or my friends. Here's another day. This one's a little busier, but I used like dollar store St. Patrick's Day stickers and just had fun going to town doing that. So all the supplies for this is in here. My colored pencils. There's just several different containers of markers and scissors and pencils that I use. Below here are more like skinny tapes for doing planning, all of my emoji type stuff to put feelings on the entries. Some miniatures ink pads back here. That's just a color swatch. And more colored pencils and this has like a miniature trimmer in it for the papers, and there's another little tiny trimmer. These elastics are just hair bands that I use to keep the planners closed as they get big. Below here are more coloring supplies and sticky notes for planning, and then this is a miniature coloring book and more colored pencils that I take when I travel. That's really fun to do on the plane, so I just have that. Below there are all my smaller ink pads, so ink spots and little things, and these are just random ones that I've picked up over the years or gotten kits. So I put them in these document cases. I got these forever ago at Target. I don't even know if you can buy these anymore. I'm sure the Container Store or somewhere like that online has something like this. But I just put all the ink spots in there, and this way I can see the colors, but then I can flip them over and keep the ink flowing to the top of the pad. So there's more inkers in here, and crayons and ink pads, just, I don't know, some emery boards for sanding edges of things. My We Are Memory Keepers, like edging cutter thing, just a lot of random coloring tools. And the bottom are all of my paints and these are my colored pencils. My Gamsol and paper stumps, more watercolors. that are like pristine because I've never really used them, but I like all the colors of them. My chalks from Pebbles, I still love using these. And then watercolor crayons and pencils, like I think just all the kind of coloring tools. Okay, so continuing around the top, I just have some decorative things up here. I have my typewriter. These are just some dishes that I use for photography. This is another easel that I just put layouts on until I'm ready to put them away. I have my Caterpillar cutter right here, and I like to use this one because if I need to use the light to cut something really precise, I can come over here and do that. I used to have all my buttons stored in clear jars along here, and it looked really cute. It looked like a candy store. But the thing I didn't like about them is I always had to dump them out into like this container to dig through them and find what did I need. And it just was cumbersome sometimes. So when I found these two units at TJ Maxx, I bought them for my buttons because you can just pull them out, the color that need, and you can just dig through that. So I love these containers. Again, here's the sink, some paper towels, and now we'll move down and finish this area, and then we'll go above and do the other cabinets. So underneath here is seriously a disaster. It's kind of a catch-all. I'll open this side, but I won't let you see this side. It just has a box, some shipping boxes, a bunch of different plastic bags, Ziploc bags, 4x5s, 2x3s, all those kind of beading bags just to organize supplies, and a ton of pouches. I have some extra tools in here like older trimmers, and my Zetter Dream Cuts is in there that I just have hung on to. I have some desk mats that are just tucked right here that I use for either filming or just to protect my work surface. And then I have these two carts. This one has all of my stamps that are not acrylic on here. So my Studio Calico and Amuse Studio stamps that I've just kind of collected. And then some wood stamps that I have. The next one shelf down, these containers have twines and baker's twine. So this one's just messy. And then, let me see if I can, the one below it are rolls. I should probably have the rolls on top because they look prettier. This one has all the baker's twine I received from the My Mind's Eye team when I was on that team a few years ago. And then the very bottom container has background wood stamps and just bigger wood stamps that just are harder to store. So those, I can flip through those. Okay, this other rolling cart kind of needs to be streamlined. It's kind of become a dumping ground for weird things, so I need to figure out how to use them exactly. This top one, in fact, is just empty. It has a bunch of empty like Iris 5x7 cases in it, and I don't know if I'll do die cuts in there, or I don't know. I'm kind of pondering what I want to do with that one. But it is nice to have, some extra space to figure out what to do with. This one has, let's see what's in here. Oh, more extra adhesive that I got at the American Crafts Warehouse, and then those I bought at Tuesday Morning recently, a few months ago. And then this stuff is just random, like more reams of copy paper and photo paper. I tend to buy multiple reams at a time just because I hate not having it on hand when I need it. So under here it's kind of hard to see, but there's my crop tote and my DSLR camera bag. Okay, we are almost finished. We've done this spot all except for these last few cabinets. So let's go into these. This glass cabinet above my sink has more coloring and messy supplies. These little things right here are just things I've recently bought in the last few months and I just haven't really put away. So some texture paste by Heidi Swapp, some glitters. These are all just bulk items that I buy. So these are a bunch of friction erasable pens that I sometimes use for planning and just bought because, hey, they're erasable pens. They're cool, right? And then these are a bunch of mechanical pencils. So at the beginning of the school year, I buy tons and tons of those. I think there's more up here. So my kids can come grab them for school, and then I use them also for scrapbooking. These are a bunch of jelly roll type pens that I picked up at the dollar store. Again, more pencils and some pens. These are just some more journaling pens, just extras that I picked up. And then this top is just some label stickers. Over here are Sharpies and things like that. I don't use these very often, but my kids use them for school sometimes, so those are there for them. Over here is an old label maker. You remember these, right? So I just hung on to that because I had the supplies for it. So I don't know, it's not taking up much room, so I've just hung on to it. Then I have a couple of iris card containers. Let me move this stuff out of the way. That hold my embroidery floss in one and my Copic markers in the other. So for these, they're the photo keepers, and I've organized my embroidery floss by color. So if I need a pink or red, I pull out that one. If I need yellow or orange, I pull out that one. And then the same with my Copics. I won't pull that out, but it's the same thing. All the markers are stored by color families. And if you worked with Copics, you know that you work with them in color families. So if you're working with reds, I pull out the reds and can blend them together, etc. Above there, I have things like glitter glues, embossing powders, flocking, micro beads, all that kind of messy stuff. I don't use that stuff very often, but I do like having it, so I don't get rid of it. So it's there if I need it. Up here is a bin full of miniature alphabet stamps, the wood stamps. I've got some markers up there, and then that is just some more glitter. At the very top, it is a decorative shelf that just has some cute jars, a project I made, and then a fun framed quote that my sister-in-law gave me that says, "I'm silently judging your font choice." I love that. Okay, in this cupboard, this closed cupboard, are all of my acrylic stamps and ink pads. So over this iris container holds all like my stamp presses and my stamp scrubber. I put my ink pads in here, and I really love this system because it keeps the ink flowing down to the top of the pad, yet when I need to get a color, I can just open it up and flip through and find the color I need really easily and pull it out. So I've really loved storing my ink pads that way. This final iris container on this shelf are just all of my different shipping tags and generic journaling tags. So that one's kind of hard to open, but just random tags in their packages and all the different sizes for stamping or journaling. Okay, and then the rest, these binders and these binders are all full of acrylic stamps, and I'll show you how I store those. So I had a bunch of extra albums, and I had a bunch of extra 4x6 photo sleeves. So I just took all the stamps out of their packaging, and I created a little 4x6 card with the name of the stamp. And then I just slip the stamp set in here. So you can see the smaller stamps, sometimes there's 2 in a pocket. And this just utilizes vertical space, but also makes it really easy to flip through them. The numbers on here, I had initially intended to follow the Totally Tiffany system and create a stamping catalog to refer to, but I own too many stamps to sit here and stamp them all out and categorize them, so I gave up on that very quickly and decided, nope, I'm not doing that. I tried it, I started it, but it was too much. This green binder is just over here because it fits here, but it's actually all of my miniature embossing folders from back in the day. So I still hang on to these Cuttlebug ones because I think it'd be fun to add detail to punch circles and things like that. So they don't take up a lot of room, so I've just kind of kept them in this binder. Back here are more of the border style ones. And I have a lot of embossing folders because I did work for Cricut and kind of collected them as I worked there and then purchased them as they came out. So that's why I have so many. And I love them. Okay, so recently I've been on a thing to buy older scrapbook idea books at thrift stores, and although the ideas are old looking, I really enjoy reading the articles and just remembering how much people love scrapbooking and how simple it was back in the beginning, and they just loved putting paper or photos on cardstock. And anyway, they're just kind of a fun, joyful thing to read. These are all my older acrylic stamps, and they are organized in sheet protectors on clear presentation covers. So, for example, I would either adhere the set onto a sheet of white cardstock and just tuck it into an 8.5 by 11 sheet protector, or I would actually, let's see if there's an example in here, right here. Or I would peel all the stamps off of the stamp set and put them on a clear presentation cover and just slip them in here. So the sad part about this is I did not write down the manufacturers. I just stuck them on these presentation covers. So I have a lot of older cool stamps, but I'm not able to tell you who made them because I didn't keep track. So, but a lot of them are really still fun to use, like the alphabets and things. Okay, on the very, very top, I'm not going to get up in there, so I'll just point some things out. That is a stamp catalog that I attempted to make for all of that stuff, and I gave up, so I need to go through that and toss what I did do. And then these bins are just old like craft paints and walnut inks and mixed media type stuff that I don't use very often. There's also a couple books up there of dictionary paper and matte paper that I used to use for layering. Okay, and then finally we have this last cabinet. I'm going to turn this light on. Hopefully that will help us see in here a bit better. These are more wood stamps that are just the last, I've purged and got rid of a lot, but there's just a few in there that I wanted to hang on to. So the ones I did hang on to just fit in these little cute 3 drawers. So you can see those. This bin, these are just some random mini albums that I need to put away. This bin is another one of those containers, and it just has all of my stencils in it. This milk glass ice bucket has my heat tool and then larger acrylic blocks that didn't fit in my turnabout caddy. Okay, then the last 2 shelves I have, well, I'll show you the very top one. I'm going to climb up here. The very top one just holds journals and notebooks. I love collecting blank journals and notebooks. So yes, those are all blank. They're just waiting for me to write and draw in and have fun in. So there's those. And then this shelf here holds the last few of my supplies. So a few more extra blank notebooks. There's this container that holds my hot glue gun and glue sticks. These are all my planner stamps organized in this iris card case. This is just some stamps that I haven't put away or don't fit. I just haven't figured out how I want to store them. So those are probably more recent purchases. And then finally, this is some more planner supplies. I'll just show you this real quick. I take this when I travel. So this is an old Ballard catalog that I just used to do, if that would stay open. The pages are all stuck together because what I do is when I'm gluing something into my planner or something else, I set it down here and do the glue stick around the edge. The glue gets all over this, and then as I need a clean sheet, I just turn it over, the pages start to stick together, but I always have a clean sheet to work on. And then these are all my planner stamping on the sticker paper. So I showed you how I colored penciled those in. So these are just a ton of my stamps that I've gone through and stamped on sticker paper, and then I just cut them out, whoops, and put them in my planner as I use them. So there's that. And then I also have this little photo book of ones that I've cut that I take on the go if I'm in the mood to do it. Okay, so there we go. Guys, that wraps it up for my scrapbook room tour. Thanks for hanging in there. It was a long one. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the different ways that I store my supplies, and I hope that more importantly, it gave you some ideas of things that you might want to do in your space. If you have any questions for me or anything that you'd like to see from me in the future, feel free to leave it in the comments below. You can also follow me on my blog at janaewink.com, and I can be found on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and of course here on YouTube. We'll see you again soon.